Hey everyone, I'm Bianca Jordan, an immigration lawyer at Brazen Legal, where I help immigrants get green cards every day. Today's video is to answer a question that I get all the time, especially lately. And that question is, how do I get a green card? And as I mentioned, I help immigrants get green cards every day. It's something that I've been doing in my law firm over the past 7 years, and even longer than that before I started my law firm. I've been helping immigrants to get green cards. And so I'm going to do a really quick green card series where I'm going to talk about the different ways in which to get a green card through your family members and what are some things that you need to know and consider and prepare for when you're applying for a green card through your spouse or your parent or your child or your sibling. So I'm going to start with my favorite type of green card case, and that is a marriage-based green card case. This is a case where you are trying to get a green card through your husband or wife who is a US citizen or a green card holder. In my law firm, most of my green card cases are marriage based green card cases. So I have a ton of experience and I've seen it all. So I want to be able to help you so that you can master your own green card application and win a green card for yourself. So, first, what is the requirement to get a green card through your spouse? Obviously, you've got to be married. It doesn't matter how big the wedding is. The bigger the wedding doesn't necessarily matter. Doesn't really mean that your marriage is going to look better or more secure to immigration. So you can have a big church wedding if you want, but it's not required. You can have a small Justice of the Peace wedding if you'd like. It doesn't really have to be big. It just has to be a marriage. It just has to be a wedding. So first step, you've got to be married. Second step, you've got to be married to either a US citizen or a green card holder. These are the only two people that you can get a green card from through marriage. Same sex weddings are also okay. So if you are a man marrying a man, that's fine. If you're a woman marrying a woman, that's fine. Immigration recognizes same sex marriages, so that is totally okay. So you've got to be married, and your spouse has to either be a US citizen or a green card holder. Now, here is where it gets a little bit nuanced. If you are married to a US citizen and you came to the US legally, which means that you came to the US with a visa or immigration paroled you into the United States. You were otherwise inspected at a border. You didn't just sneak into the country undocumented. As long as that's you, as long as you came here legally and you are married to a US citizen, as long as you don't have any other issues such as criminal issues or anything like that, then you're able to get your green card in the United States, which means that you don't have to go through consulate processing. Instead, you're going through a process called adjustment of status, where you are applying for the green card in the United States. That process entails filing your I-130, your green card application, your work permit. You're also able to apply for a work permit while your green card application is pending through your US citizen spouse. And you're also able to apply for a travel document. I always recommend that you apply for a travel document even if you don't think that you want to or need to travel outside of the US while your application is pending. I always encourage people to apply for this because, first of all, when you're applying for the green card application and you're paying the $1,760 filing fee for your application packet, the filing fee for the travel documentation is included in that application. So you're not paying for it anyway, so you might as well go ahead and apply for it. Second of all, things happen. God forbid you have to leave the country to attend a funeral, or you have to leave the United States and go back to your home country for whatever the reason may be. If you leave without having a travel documentation, not only might you have issues coming back to the US, but USCIS is going to think that you've abandoned that green card application and they're going to deny it, and you're going to have to start all over again and repay those filing fees. So I always encourage people to apply for the travel documentation because you never know and it's not costing you anything extra anyway. Once you file your application packet with USCIS, at some point you're going to get a receipt notice. Hold on to that receipt notice so that you can track the progress of your case. Receipt notices right now at the filming of this video are taking up to at least 3 months to get to people. So if you're filing your application and you're paying by check, keep an eye out in your bank account for when that check is cashed, because usually there will be a receipt notice on the back of that check. So even if your receipt notice is taking a while, if you're able to at least track that check, you can get the receipt notices there. After your receipt notices, at some point you're going to receive a notice for your biometrics. Because of COVID, this is happening. These are really being delayed right now. Biometrics appointments, which is a fancy word for fingerprints and pictures, are taking a really long time to be scheduled, but this is part of the process. You have to go in for your fingerprinting and your pictures. If for whatever reason USCIS is able to reuse some past fingerprints that you've taken before, then they will send you a letter saying that they do not need you to come in for fingerprinting. They're going to reuse your fingerprints from a previous time. If there are no issues for your case, then the next step in the process would be your immigration interview. If you do have any issues, or if USCIS just wants more information about your case, maybe they want more evidence, then they will send you a letter called a request for evidence or a request for initial evidence. And that letter will list out everything that USCIS is asking for you to send them back, and they will give you the deadline by which you have to send this back to them. If all goes well and you go to your interview and the immigration officer approves your application, depending on where you live, you might get your green card in a week. You might get your green card within a couple of months. It really depends on where you're living and what's happening with that processing center. If you are married to someone who has a green card, or if you are married to a US citizen, but you did not come to the US legally, or maybe you have some type of criminal issue that prevents you from adjusting your status here, then you're going to have to adjust your status through consular processing. And that might require needing a waiver depending on the circumstances with your case. That process looks very similar to the adjustment of status process, except that you're only filing Form I-130. If you have any criminal issues, or if you happen to be someone who did not come to the US legally, then you're likely going to need a waiver. And once that I-130 application is approved, then you would apply for that waiver. And once your waiver is approved, you would let the National Visa Center know so that your case can continue processing. And once you have sent all the documentation that is required for your case to the National Visa Center, then the next step in that process is to go to the consulate for your immigrant visa interview. Assuming all goes well and your green card application is approved at the consulate, you will be given an immigrant visa, and then you can come to the US and you'll get your green card in the mail shortly thereafter, within the next couple of months, again, depending on processing times and what is happening with your case. I hope you found this video helpful. Please visit brazenlegal.com to learn more about me, my law firm, and how I help my clients get their green cards. And stay tuned for part 2 in this series. Thanks for watching.